Will the X-Men survive? Will they stop World War III? And who is the Master Mutant?
Is he an alien? He better not be an alien.
Nah, bet it's Magneto. There's no one else big enough to be the Mutant Master at this stage in the game, and it's the first we've heard of him. But here it is, finally, the big showdown with Factor 3. Is it everything we've been waiting for? Let's find out. So when we left them, the Mutant Master guy with a funny green helmet, who commands an army of guys with funny pink helmets, 1. Put the X-Men to trial for aiding Homo sapiens over Homo superior, and 2. Was going to start World War III so he could play Fallout in real life. The X-Men are like, "No evil helmet dude, we shall stop you and steal some of those flying saucers," and of course they instantly know how to fly them. Now, the Mutant Master and his number 2 in command, purple helmet guy who calls himself the Changeling, start to bicker because of course they do, they're bad guys. But MM gets annoyed and shows his power with the zap of his evil laser. Meanwhile, Token Gene, Beast and Irrelevant Angel have landed somewhere unspecific in Eastern Europe, intentionally vague because, communism and stuff. Yes, the flying saucers are that fast. Their goal is to stop a bomb that has been planted somewhere below an important military meeting with a guy who totally looks like Stalin but isn't supposed to be Stalin. They break in, and of course the military thinks that they've come to get them, and the X-Men put them in their place. Around the corner they run into the Blob and the Vanisher.
Whoa! Reoccurring villains. They are pulling out all the stops.
Back with the Changeling, he does laps around McWheels, who is still hostage, and brags that McWheels is only alive to watch the downfall of humankind.
Classic mistake.
I know, right? Now, old Pew Pew Eyes and Iceman have flown their flying saucers back to the States to warn their military about a plan to hijack their missiles and fire them into the Eastern Bloc. Of course, they're like, duh. Who are you guys? You've only saved the world 1 billion times. I'm a general. I once completed Tetris, and modern video games haven't even been invented yet. Back with Token Gene, Beast, and that other guy, the fight's going down. Blob and the Vanisher, and these strange cape-wearing dudes with blasters. The X-Men are too good. Token Gene has the winning play as she traps gas in an invisible bubble around the Blob, then holds the Vanisher in the air and bloop, he still vanishes. But there's no time to celebrate because the military are here. Issue 39 promises to be the Factor 3 finale. Planes dive bomb Iceman and Pew Pew Eyes. Rapid machine gun fire, but Bobby puts up a nice shield and saves him. Then he freezes the army guards before they can make any more calls. Finally, he freezes the air filtration system for the missiles, set to launch at Eastern Europe, and the Mutant Masters plan to start World War III. And despite Iceman doing all that, Pew Pew Eyes has the nerve to say to him, "Don't get overconfident, lad. Lad! He's like a year older and still a teenager, and he calls him lad. What is he, a Scottish lord?" Anyway, look, I don't know why, but that just felt really out of place. Before they can celebrate their success though, the machinery around the missile comes alive and attacks them. What you say? What sort of tech does the American military have? Haha! Gotcha. It was Mastermind all along. It was just an illusion. And Unus the Untouchable is there as well. They tussle, but we cut to the other 3 X-Men, still locked in a cell. Beast is able to knock out a gullible guard and they break free, but the Blob is free as well, and though half the world away, the OG 5 X-Men have the same issues, each trying to down their foes. But in America, Bobby creates another frozen shield and a frozen mist, allowing them to sheepishly sneak away. I mean, even here, Iceman's powers are really varied and overpowered. It's no wonder he would later get flagged as an alpha level mutant. I'm surprised it took him so long as it did really to up his game power wise. Oh, and old Pew Pew Eyes tags along too, I guess.
Please don't call him that.
Oh, still have a slight crush on him, do we?
Nope. True love isn't just a crush, idiot.
Back in Europe, the Blob has a bomb ready to blow up the unnamed Eastern military state, and Token Gene is all like, you'll totally die as well. And the Blob's like, what? Because he hasn't really considered if he's bomb-proof or not. And in his shock, Token Gene uses her dotted lines to steal it from him. The Blob is like, "I'm out, biatches," and flees. An Irrelevant Angel takes the bomb into the sky, like they do in the movies, and let's blow up there.
Annoyed he kind of did something, right?
Yeah, we were having a good run of irrelevancy there for a while, but he did save the day in a cliche kind of way, I guess. So, anyways, the mutant master is all like, I let the X-Men escape, but somehow they still ruined my plans. That arrogance in the face of defeat definitely points him towards being Magneto. But the X-Men aren't done yet. They fly in saucer back to the mutant master to confront him. There, they are forced to take on Blobby Boy, the Vanisher, Unus the Untouchable, and Mastermind. But McWheels turns up, and here is where things get a little confusing for me, because the Mutant Master turns up as well, except he's now dressed like the Changeling and the other dudes with pink helmets. I'm sure this must have been an art mistake for the issue, but as they also didn't address the character by name, I thought they were fighting the Changeling, who is missing for most of this scene. So anyways, back to it. McWheels is like, hey, you big, fat, gigantic, enormous phony, and the Mutant Master, now dressed in pink, is like, M not, and Mick Wheels is like M2, and Mutant Master dressed in pink is like M not, and Mick Wheels is like,
We get the point.
Okay. Well, the Mutant Master gets sick of arguing and flicks a switch, and more purple dudes with capes walk in. It's Battle Royale, X-Men versus evil mutants versus Cape Men, free for all in all its glory. And this is how you do a final showdown. They're punching and fighting and powers and laser gun, and close by, Banshee wakes up and is like, hey, some of us are trying to coma here, and says, shut the hell up in Banshee scream, and everyone's like, my ears. His sonic waves hit the Mutant Master. It's body distorting, the clothes ripping and tearing, unable to contain the form inside, only to reveal some alien thing with tentacles.
Yes, aliens, I knew it.
You probably read ahead. But everybody is like, oh my god, it's an alien. So they all turn on it. Even Unus gets a few blows in. The alien panics and presses another button. The purple cape dudes explode, but Banshee's scream is upset at stomach, so now it has to die. Quoting, a Syrian may know destruction, but never capture. Oh, and off to the side, McWheels has a Spider-Man meme moment. Turns out the Changeling is actually there and is a mutant that can change forms and is pretending to be Professor X. On another note, he was apparently the inspiration for the character Morph from the 90s TV animated series. But then who knows what you can actually believe that you read on the interwebs. Also, all breakfast cereals are made from moon rocks. Elsewhere, everybody stops fighting because, alien, am I right? Pretty big deal, and the evil mutants and the X-Men all go their separate ways. Back at home, McWheels has a big reveal. He's got the X-Men all new costumes, and guess what? They're hideous. They remind me of the costumes that should be from that circus crime mobs that Spidey fought. They're that outlandish. Oh, and another point, from this issue going forward, there are some background stories for the X-Men, but I won't cover these in actual issue episodes. I'd like to do a little bit more in-depth on X-Men origins going forward, perhaps covering each character in each era. So, after all this, we have to ask the big question. Was it worth it? Was the build-up and execution of the Big Factor 3 finally worth it? Well, yes and no. I will admit that the whole Factor 3 thing didn't interest me in the slightest. I think that's obvious from some of my comments. However, this last issue, issue 39, I think did a reasonable job in the final showdown and was a satisfying conclusion in every way, but the whole alien thing.
Called it.
I'll admit the alien thing did cross my mind, but I was expecting it to be the Changeling because, the name meaning he could take human form. But I think it's just the trope you kind of expect of this era, especially as the Factor 3 was built up, but the Mutant Master was thrown in at the last moment. So overall, I guess, meh. Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this approach, please like and subscribe for more videos. And remember, if you're interested in reading the full story, the easiest way is to sign up to Marvel Unlimited at marvel.com/unlimited. I need to breathe.